One afternoon, not that long ago, I got a spark of motivation and began tearing out my van build. For you to fully understand why I started tearing my hard work apart, you need a little bit of context. 5 years ago, I bought an old delivery van with the dream of building my film career out of it. I actually managed to finish my first proper film while living out of it. I made a ton of client projects I was really proud of. And in the years since then, the van has taken on a lot of different shapes and forms. 2 years ago, my wife and I hit the reset button on our van and began the process of doing a proper build out of our own, stripping down all the way to the rust and starting from scratch. I learned how to weld on this project, made a lot of mistakes, but the end result was a cabin on wheels that was a fully functioning mobile studio. We had batteries to last us for days, solar on the roof, tons of storage and functionality, plenty of room for the both of us, and many adventures were had. And then, Ember.
You're just the sweetest thing, Ember. Oh my goodness.
We had always designed our van with the idea of having kids in mind, hence the extra seating for a car seat and the more open layout. But once we actually had our baby girl in our arms, it became all the more obvious that the van actually had some key big flaws that we wanted to figure out before we could hit the road again. For instance, the bed was actually way too high and we were missing out on space and couldn't sit upright. The toilet was actually really frustrating to use in the place we put it, especially at nighttime. Some of the earlier projects and certain wiring I had never actually finished. And lastly, the rust that we thought we had dealt with was coming back with a vengeance. So that is why one hot summer afternoon, 3 days before we're supposed to move back into the van, I decided to frantically start tearing things apart, cutting the van that I'd crafted and worked so hard on into pieces, so that way, hopefully, in a few days' time, we could make some quick changes and end up with a van that was going to work a lot better for our next season of van life. Let's see how it goes.
Hop on up.
Very bright.
You look very bright. Hey friend, welcome back. Does this feel nostalgic to you?
Yeah, it kind of feels like we just rewound and getting a second go at this or something.
We are making some updates. We had that video go out called 9 Regrets from Our Van Build. If you haven't seen that, I recommend checking it out. Mm-hmm. We're gonna try to fix some of that stuff. So on our list is bed frame build is priority number 1. This shelving area that has nothing in it here, so we're just gonna do fixed open shelves with no basically doors on it, and do these little cubbies that Janelle found on Amazon. Do we have time to pack?
I've started packing, organizing things. Not that I'm ready. It's easier when you can just pack straight into the van, but I feel pretty good. It's always crunch time before we leave for a trip. Always.
Have you packed some clothes for me?
No.
Our van was rusty. And it still is rusty. There's rust inside our van. So even though we did all this work to get it Raptor lined, there's still rust inside. And that's identified by this little fun area on the sliding door. But it's actually worse than that. It's inside the door and breaking right near the hinge point here. So I'm going to pull the door off tomorrow and hopefully try to make a patch brace section, cut this all out. It's kind of sad, but that's maybe what needs to happen. And then as well, up here in the front, if we have enough time, I'm gonna maybe try to do some work on this electrical box. Coastal off-road. He started with 4. The bed frame used to start on this top rail, but we need a lower rail. So we've got a sheet of plywood coming down the side. This is the old platform for the bed, so we're gonna rebuild this. My buddy Jeremy stopped by today to help. Thank you. What are you doing this morning?
We're building a subwoofer box.
We're making a box so that way we can actually maybe plug it in.
I'm doing some last minute grinding down on this water tank frame. Janelle?
Yes.
Here's some hearing protection.
For what?
For the grinding I'm about to do.
Oh.
Janelle right now is helping make some templates of the curved wall of the van so that way we can build
more
some shelves.
cardboard templates.
This will be the new frame across that will come out to like there, and then we need the rail on this side. This is why we have the plywood, to make the lowered rail, and then the mattress basically sits right across to the width there.
Amazing! I'm so stoked about this.
Look at that,
Where's
eh?
my little bin?
The moment of truth. The bins, Janelle.
Perfect.
Do you like that lip on there?
Yes.
Official new bed height test. Are you ready for this or what?
Wow.
Look at
That's
that.
amazing.
I could read a book here. Wow. I'm so thrilled.
So obviously the footage you're seeing is from earlier when we were actually working on these projects, and this is us in the future. And at the end of this video, we will walk you through all the adjustments we made to the van, how we're liking them so far.
An overview of the projects,
And,
basically.
Yeah, an overview. But for now, we need to tell you about our sponsor, which is Squarespace.
And Janelle, why? I'm gonna make
I
you
thought
do.
you were gonna do it.
No, yeah, I like where we're at right here. Why do we love Squarespace? I'm curious.
Levi loves Squarespace because he's not a web designer, but he owns like I don't know how many multiple websites with Squarespace and makes it really easy for you.
Yeah, I have no idea how to code, and yet I've built and continue to build multiple websites with Squarespace. Their drag and drop system is perfect for the way my brain thinks, and it makes it very easy to build websites. Can you tell the friends at home how easy it is to get a website going?
You go over to Squarespace, sign up for a free trial, select one of the designer templates, and then you just start putting in your content. Pictures, images, text, all that stuff. They've got some really, really nice templates to use. So head over to Squarespace to get started on your website.
And make sure to use my code, our code, for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Back to building.
Today is going to be a scorcher, mid-heat summer. I am just finishing grinding away this inner section of the fender flare. I don't know if you can quite see the material I've taken off. It came out quite a bit further actually, because the new rims that we got for our van, the offset is just slightly larger. That was causing this area to rub even though we got the lift kit installed. I'm now gonna weld up a patch onto this section here, and then we're gonna get ready to paint it all in and put some undercoating down here again. There's a few other areas that I would like to hit with some undercoat, so hopefully this all goes pretty smoothly here. I kept burning myself with sparks while welding, so I put on pants and this hot jacket. This body job is almost done, and then it's time to prime and paint it. Okay, I got royally sidetracked for most of today so far. It's almost dinner time. We're running out of day. We are putting, we put this board in, which is the back. And right now we're getting ready to frame in this area so that way we can build the toilet tray, because the sliders for it came in and they're actually very beautiful. The sliders, here they are. So these guys apparently are 250-pound sliders, and we're gonna put them against the wall like so, and create this nice slide out for the toilet to come out from the side of our cabinet. Okay, down in here you can see the corner that I'm rebuilding, and maybe it's not super obvious what I did, but the corner basically came out to here before, and I've now cut it back in round, added metal into this section, and just kept welding and grinding to just fill this in. It looks really janky because the inside rocker panel guard is starting to melt away from the heat, so we got to kind of reinforce this. And then there's also some other funny areas up here. The previous metal shop had done some work in here, but they never actually coated it with any undercoat. Okay, I keep forgetting to film things in here, but we're trucking right along. This is the end of the bed. This is the compartment where the toilet is going. What I've noticed is in this area of the countertop in the kitchen, because it's got the outlet right there, we end up charging tons of electronics here, which is awkward because the sink's right next to it and water spills over. So if you're doing dishes and there's electronics charging here, it's just kind of a stupid place to charge stuff. So let's see if this piece fits. Da-da-da. Beautiful. So as you can see there, that was making a box right here because we want this hard edge against the countertop that'll be sealed with a sealant, so that way we could prep food all the way up to the edge here and not be worried about it falling off. But because we don't have the counter space to make up the distance to the bed, we're putting this bucket here, and so we'll put charging AC ports down in the bottom back corner here, which will be awesome. And this will become like the catch-all for charging phones, camera batteries.
Wow. Can I put the same?
Sure.
Electronics.
The wireless charging pad will be
Cubby.
down in there. Do you like the height of the rail? I kind of just did that without your consultation.
Oh yeah, I was worried that you were going to do it too deep. It felt like everything was going into the abyss.
Yeah.
This is good.
And so, a lay demonstration. This will slide out. Oh my goodness, that is so clutch. That is amazing.
Did it!
Isn't that easier than flipping the toilet?
Oh yeah.
And you don't even have.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get all the things done I want to get done. This is just so classic. This is what it felt like last year when we left for Alaska. That's what we're feeling like now when we leave for Janelle's parents. But once you just get into projects, there's always like that next one you can do and the next one and the next one. Today, I have to get finished this wheel well stuff. And I was supposed to get it done before we went to the tire shop. I'm starting to feel like that won't happen. So I'll bring it to the tire shop. They can do the brakes and check over stuff and then come back, pull the wheels back off and paint, because I want to do like 5 or 6 layers of paint under there and some undercoating. And so this is a 27-inch 4K display. It was around $500 Canadian, which is reasonable-ish. So here is the arm. Look at this. I've got this gorgeous monitor right here just floating in front of my face. I could get so much done like this. I am so excited right now. Okay, so earlier, laptop workstation, 4K, 27-inch monitor. Let's go. That is beautiful. This setup is awesome. So this is the new monitor workstation area. The problem is that this monitor mount definitely is not built to a quality level where driving down back roads of any kind is a good idea. And right now the headspace that I'm on is underneath this panel. I could put a cupboard right there for the monitor and it would actually fit perfect. But I'm just gonna start cranking out on the stuff I gotta get done.
just finished running wires up through the back of this dash area to here. This is the switch controller for this guy right here, which controls most of my exterior lights. And they run back down here, past there, over into the craziness that is this box. Well, through the magic of editing, we have gotten the van back. The camber and the toe in has been adjusted. It was like 0.5% off, whatever that percentage is based on, but it was off, and so they adjusted it back, so the wear on our already pretty worn out tires should be evened out. I would like to order new BFG KO2s, but they're out of stock almost everywhere. I'm getting prepped here now to finish painting the inside of the wheel well, and I'm really not happy with this repair from the body shop. Let me just show you what I mean. Yeah, this was the repair they did, and it never got painted by them. So I don't know how I didn't catch that fully before, but this hole is still here, and all this metal missed its opportunity to get a fresh coat of paint at the shop, which is really too bad. I don't feel great about getting back into rainy season without attempting to deal with it. There's a few other problem areas on the van that need addressing. This area had been ground down by the body shop originally, but never filled back in with a sealant. And so as the body panels flexed, the paint cracked open, and then that creates a rust point. So we're gonna try to deal with that. And then up here, this is these 4 shiny spots are for me. Basically the month I got the van back, I pulled the flooring out. It had some little screws in it. I leaned it up against the van, and it vibrated these nice holes. So we just ground those away a little bit. So we're gonna hit those with paint. And then there's one more spot on the roof. We've got some other paint areas that we're gonna hit up and touch as well. The sliding door, we've pulled it off the van, and that is this guy here. And I went ahead and already started grinding everything away, so you probably don't see the full damage here because I got a lot of the rust flakes. But this right here is all cracked apart across there, and then there's rust all inside this edging here. So I'm gonna try rebuild some sections and reinforce this corner, because this is where the door slide mounts from, and it's cracking, which isn't good. Hopefully that repair goes smoothly, because I don't really care to buy a new door off an old van and then need to paint match it. So this video is turning into a massive episode. If you're still with me, bless your heart. I hope you've got this on 2x speed, because I would sure like this video to be going quicker as I'm making it. Oh, let's get after it. Helping with the metal prep.
No, my favorite thing in the world.
That's my repair right there. This is the big new patch that I added, and tried to seal up as many of these little holes that I could. We have 5 cans of undercoating, so once we get the Pour 15 paint on there, we'll be able to add some rubberized undercoating, which will help things out immensely. Over here on the van, we've started masking and painting. Ooh, that's actually pretty close. Ooh, that's a nice lens flare. Get all cinematic. And this guy right here is getting all of my attention right now, because I gotta get this part done. So I'm cutting out all the rotten metal, gonna put in some new metal. I feel like I have no idea where this whole day went. This door over here is really not looking pretty. I had to cut a lot of this metal out because it was all rusty in there. We've got a bunch of new metal right here, and now I just have to add these sidewall strips and make it all look pretty. But I think we're getting somewhere. It is certainly not pretty, but a grinder and paint, make me the welder I ain't, that'll have to do.
final coat of paint is on. Tomorrow we put back the door on, put the door back on, and we're out of here. Okay, time to remount our 600 amp hours of lithium ion batteries. And one of my favorite little mounting tricks is putting these couplers on the lugs like that, so that way you can get an offset mount, so that way you can run cables up and down the sides. So yes, I'm gonna reinstall these. If you have some general questions about electric stuff, I'd love to answer them in a full-on electric video, so just kind of let me know. I'm very, I love electric stuff. It's kind of one of my favorite things to do with the van. It's just so therapeutic. Look at that clean setup. Very happy with that. Okay, team, here it is. The finished painted repair.
So, ready?
I'm ready. Dun, dun, dun. This. Also, I forgot to show, but the painted wheel wells are looking sharp. Van build update summer 2020 completed.
Do you call this van build 3.0 now?
Not
quite.
2.2. Yeah.
Stoked
All we
to hit
gotta
the
do
road.
is put the mattress in, get the tools out, and pizza party inside.
And we're gonna eat some pizza.
So most of those work projects we did earlier in the summer when it was still really hot, and we've been now moved back into the van for
Like 2 months or something? Over 2 months?
2 months already. Coming in here first, the main big improvements when I'm at my workstation area here, having this monitor on an arm like this that I can just move around to wherever I want.
It's pretty slick.
Complete game changer for my work. We've got 3 arm pieces from one of the double arm kits to get it out this far. And it does look a little non-sturdy, but normally we pull it off and put it in its secret hiding place when we're actually driving, or strap it to the wall. I'll show you that in a sec. I sit here like this most days and do my editing from this spot. My hard drive's here, my laptop's here, pop the headphones on. And clearly the YouTube channel has been neglected lately, which is why videos haven't been coming out, but I've been powering away at client work here and some stuff coming up in the future. And having a dedicated, better workstation setup, especially with a little baby in the van, has been very helpful because it's very easy to get distracted in here. Another thing to note about workflows in the van is that we still have been using these NATO rail mounts absolutely everywhere in the van. So attaching little arms so we can just mount lights all over the place, and microphones, that's been very helpful. We've been using these Aperture MC lights, which are magnetic, so we can attach them to different places on the roof, get magnetic, easy access lighting that I can change with my phone app. The monitor itself, when we do quick daily drives, obviously we don't want the monitor out as we're driving. So these 2 straps here, we can strap the monitor back against the wall. And that's actually good enough for normal sort of city driving. But any off-road stuff, we just lift the monitor off the arm, and then there's a secret compartment underneath the bed right here that it goes in. So right down here is a secret compartment that's pressure fit with padding for the monitor.
It fits perfectly in there and doesn't move at all when we're driving.
It's awesome. I also got this removable mount, which I can use with my podcast mic set up here for doing voiceovers, so I can set it up on my table. Kind of a nice quick access for that.
We've also used it to watch movies.
Yes, we can mount it here and put the monitor up over the bed. That's a luxury I never thought I wanted, but the movie nights have been kicked up a notch. We're going to circle back on power stuff in a sec, but we have 2 more Battleborn batteries in here. So we've got 600 amp hours of lithium ion batteries.
Wow.
Lots of batteries. And that has let us be more confident about moving to induction cooking. So that way, when we're maybe not getting as much solar charging and we're staying put for multiple days on end so we aren't generating any new power, it makes us more confident to cook off electric if we have more power reserves.
Before we were doing small propane tanks.
We're doing small propane tanks, yeah. So this is just like a generic $60 cooktop plugged right into the countertop there. It's not mounted, so we can move it around wherever we want to go. If we want to cook outside, something like that.
Have more counter space sometimes.
An awesome upgrade that I'm really stoked for is we got a whole new set of pots and pans.
They're so nice.
We were using a cobbled mishmash of pots and pans from like our normal apartment living lifestyle setup, which isn't meant to be in a van. So this is a nesting set. There is 4 bowls here nested into one bowl. And when you want to take one out and add a handle to it, you just pop on the handle. So this is like 1-2 servings of oatmeal. That's what this size is great for. Putting them back away every time into this small little stack is so satisfying.
They're like nicer pots than we even had in our apartment, so it's kind of feels like a bit of a luxury.
Big picture look in this area is where most of the changes actually occurred, so let's just address them one by one. We extended the countertop this way, and we now have this charging area, which I am absolutely loving. So more USB outlets, wireless charger outlets here. We've got AC ports kind of down right in there. I've been trying to use more of these little micro switches where it's basically just a pass through that you can turn off and on, specifically for things like my hard drive over in the editing area. I don't want to unplug it every time, but just being able to turn it off so it's not draining power. Super great. These are small and cheap. And the reason why we had this more space to fill is because we extended out the bed instead of doing the bench seat. So earlier the bench seat came to this white line here, came all the way out. It was about this height, and then it would do the whole flippy dippy. No more flipping, eh, Janelle?
No more flipping.
The new bed height's great. This area we technically didn't finish up, so I just have some plastic shelves screwed there so we're not wasting the space. But we're going to do some sort of cupboards, pantry, pull-out thingy right here. We just never finished building it. Also, something that we were working on while doing all this is buttoning up some electrical stuff. So the switches up by the dash are improved. More outlets added on the electrical cubby up there. And then over here, I now have some more access to certain switches, shutoffs for the winch power in the front, master shutoff. This right here is our DC to DC charger. That is new, and that is what's allowing us to get much more efficient charging off of our alternator. So it ups the voltage, makes it more applicable for going into battle-born lithium-ion batteries. We are getting at least 50% more efficient charging from just driving, which is a massive win, especially now that it's winter season and it's just cloudy all the time. Janelle, can you show them the cool switches we finished by the bed?
Yes, these switches, they're so nice. We can dim the lights from the bed.
So that's the over the bed light, and then the front area lighting's on a separate switch. Awesome. Now turn this lighting back up. Wow. These were the ones that were wired up before, so we can turn off our lights and turn them on when we're getting in. But now when we're over here in the bed, we've got 2 dimmer locations.
It's not like who's going to get up and turn the lights off tonight.
Do I get a high five from you, Ember? Oh, that counts.
High five.
Also, this Max Air controller here is a wired controller to turn our fan off and on. Super great. What would you say the biggest improvement is?
The height of the bed.
And the second biggest improvement?
Oh, the toilet.
The toilet. Let's show them this.
All right, Ember, come help. It now is hidden under our counter. And there's this little foot lock that you press down, and it just slides all the way out. And then locks in this position, so you don't have to worry about it sliding.
The toilet on slides, absolutely clutch. Now we don't resent going to the bathroom in the middle of the night because it doesn't wake the other person up.
The other person doesn't have to like lift their legs so that half the bed flips over, and it's so much nicer.
I didn't want to keep drilling new holes in the floor of the van for the venting. So we've got this section of hosing that it came with attached to a vacuum hose I found on Amazon, and that comes down and goes through the floor right there. So it actually snakes through around there. We might come up with a better system in the future, but right now this ease of use of being able to slide it out has made my appreciation for the Nature's Head toilet go up at least a solid 25, maybe even 35%, which is a lot of percentage considering how frustrating I found this toilet in the first year that we were using it.
In this area, we finally put up shelves. This was empty before, but this is where all of Ember's stuff is kept. So diaper stuff, clothes, toys, all these things, really easy access I can be like holding her on the bed while getting into this stuff all at the same time.
The baby user manual we got did not tell me that babies come with so many required accessories, but Janelle's packing system here is pretty beautiful.
Yeah, we got all these little totes to organize everything so it's not like one big pile.
We just moved this heater controller last weekish. It was down here next to the carbon monoxide detector. We moved it up here because bending down to adjust the settings was kind of getting annoying. So this new spot has been great. We just have to route the cable in a bit more of an efficient fashion. And we still have some improvements and things to finish, but it's nice to get one step closer to a van that's going to work for our little family. This one's got a lot of energy lately and it's a lot of work, but the good times are good. And since we started sharing more that we're on the road and doing van life on Instagram again, people started asking us a lot more van life related questions on their own builds and also planning trips. So we've got in the works a guide on how to van life on a road trip, if that's renting a van, buying a van, or converting your own, just kind of how we've approached planning for longer trips and just
things to think about, things to bring.
So we're preparing that right now, but in the meantime, if you want a free checklist of what to think about before you go on your own van life road trip, we've got that linked down below in exchange for free. Well, I was just about to say in exchange for your email address. So that way we can let you know about other van life stuff coming up. So that's our offer to you, a free checklist with also some part stuff maybe in that, maybe possibly.
Check it out.
Possibly our favorite stuff. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for following with our build. And remember,
life's better when you make stuff.
Peace. We actually did try to record this outro showing you the features section about 4 different occasions. And this one just kept getting energized and wanting things.
And when she needs us, then she needs us, and that's okay. That's how it goes.
Making videos with the both of us and her at the same time is not something that we are going to try to often because it is hard. It's much easier for me to just film you two doing a thing and then...
Or for me to take Ember on a walk and Levi to film his own stuff.
Yeah. Content creating on the road. Definitely a challenge.